Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. Today, we're going to be looking at the We Are Venom season, specifically the Agent Venom season pass card. We're also going to take a look at our second ever fully free card in Marvel Snap, technically third ever, I guess, because Kitty Pryde was free due to bug reasons. But our third ever free card that's coming to Marvel Snap. That's right, we're getting another card, just like Ascension Nova, in a new game mode that we're going to take a look at this video, along with breaking down Agent Venom. But we've got to begin with a last chance review for Symbiote Spider-Man. Symbiote Spider-Man is listed as a 4/6 here on purpose. Let's talk about what he does first, and then we'll look at why he was buffed to a 4/7 during the season. He is, in a few days, a Series 5 6,000 token card, season pass card for the time being. You can get him for $9.99 American. His ability is, as a 4/7, activate. Merge your lowest cost card here with this, copy its text like it just revealed. So it's merging a card into it, which means it keeps the 4, which means it's vulnerable to cards like Magneto or that location that pulls all the 3s and 4s and so on. Its weakness is that it's the lowest cost card here. That means it is extraordinarily vulnerable to junk, although it does have some slight junk upside. If your opponent is clogging you with basically anything but a Goblin, or a Titania, I guess, your ability to combine Symbiote Spider-Man with that card will give you extra space where your opponent would otherwise have you clogged. It works fairly similarly to a move card like a Jeff in that instance, so Symbiote Spider-Man does have that extra value. But we have to look at the other season pass cards that were buffed in their season. Symbiote Spider-Man is the third time this has happened. Both other times, the cards were greatly improved and ended up being fundamentally meta cards. I think the same thing is going to be true of Symbiote Spider-Man, and it's going to be why you should buy this card. First, the card that wasn't actually buffed during its season, but was literally buffed the week after, is, and we've had cards nerfed in their season, but let's focus on the positives. So, Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, was originally a 2/3 and was buffed to a 1/2 at the very start, like very early into the season after her season pass card. She's now one of the best move enablers because she's so cheap and versatile. She's also a card that has occasionally seen play just as a really nice, simple move enabler. The buff made her completely playable, whereas before she was kind of a bad card. Phoenix Force 2 was a 5/6 who became a 4/5, and Phoenix Force is not a meta card necessarily because he's so hard to play. She's so hard to play. It's so hard to play. Phoenix Force isn't it, I'm pretty sure. Because it's so hard to play. However, like the huge caveat for that is that if you're good enough with Phoenix Force, you can finish on the top 10 of the Infinite Leaderboard. As Jet shows, he's doing it currently, and he's done it several times in the past. Which means that Phoenix Force's buff took it from a card that was, again, terrible to a card that is playable. I don't know if that's the right comparison for Symbiote Spider-Man, despite Symbiote Spider-Man and Phoenix Force having some similarities. I think the actual perfect comparison for Symbiote Spider-Man is, in fact, Gilgamesh. A few seasons ago, I believe it was the June season, Gilgamesh went from a 5/7 to a 5/9, and that, along with some other nerfs, took that card from fundamentally unplayable and since then has been a staple in Zoo, which has become a meta deck. It's not the best deck in the meta, but it is a very powerful, very consistent top 10 deck in Marvel Snap. Gilgamesh's buff enabled that. I think Symbiote Spider-Man does fundamentally the same thing. The buff on this card, along with the existence of Wong, Grandmaster, Odin, and Absorbing Men, have all combined to create a sort of redundancy that means it's a matter of time before this deck becomes fully meta. I think we're likely looking at the Namora and Black Panther shell with some White Tiger splashed in. Maybe Namora gets cut and it's White Tiger if junk stays prevalent, but something along these lines is specifically where you want to be playing Symbiote Spider-Man, and I do think that it's only a matter of time before this becomes an absolutely meta card. It can never be, like Gilgamesh, it can never be the very best thing in the game because there are just too many counters for Symbiote Spider-Man, like there are too many counters for Zoo, right? You want something powerful that is counterable. That's Symbiote Spider-Man. However, with good play and intelligence, this can be a top deck, if not the top deck, and I think that makes this worth getting. This is a worse card, straight up a worse card than what is her name? Gwenpool, that's her name. This is a worse card than Gwenpool. This is a worse card than Kate Bishop, who's one of the best cards in the game, but I think it's on par with Gilgamesh as a card you absolutely want to own, and getting it for $10 is honestly a lot cheaper than the 60-ish, 60 to 100 that they charge for a Series 5 card, so I strongly urge you to grab it. Before we go to the new card and the new season, we're going to start with Agent Venom. I'm going to ask you to hit that sub button. We are, as of this video going live, at I believe about 13,800 subs. We want to hit 15,000 by the end of the year, but we need your help to get there. We, in return, this week, we're going to do 8 videos. We're releasing 8 Marvel Snap videos. full-length videos, at least 4 decks in each. What that means is I know all the top players, they watch these videos. When they discover a new deck, they send it to me. I scour the stat sites, I keep track of everything. We cover bundles, we cover everything. We get you the best decks and the best information faster and more consistently than anyone in this game. If you're interested in being ahead of the meta and always on top of exactly what's going on in Marvel Snap, this is the channel for you. Hit that sub button. In addition, a like and comment tells the YouTube algorithm to show us to more people, which then means more subs, and if you're willing to do that, it would mean a lot as well. Another thing we do for you is we do 10 season pass giveaways at the start of the season, and then 3 or 4 more throughout the season. So we're giving away 5 season passes this week. We're going to announce some season pass winners in this video, but we're giving away 5 season passes this week. All you have to do is be subbed, like the video. Each comment section will have I'll have a specific question in the video, and each comment section will carry its own winner of a season pass. So someone who comments on this video, commenting the specific thing, will win a season pass. Make sure that you are commenting when that comes up if you're looking for a free Agent Venom. Speaking of that card, let's talk some Agent Venom. 2/4, Series 5-6,000 tokens one day once it's in the season pass. Once it's out of the season pass. On reveal, set the power of all cards in your deck to 4. I'm always worried about this ability. Phastos is a card I thought was going to be amazing, but ended up being really hard to use. Is it because it's affecting deck? Is it because it's only good on turn 3 and its stats aren't that good? Or is it because you don't know what you're going to get, the +2 or the -1? I think it's some combination thereof. Okoye just gives a static +1, which just isn't enough to really make a difference. It's possible for Agent Venom to give +2 to +4 to almost every card in your deck, which I think is enough of a difference to make this what's going to be a good card. And its 2/4 stats, unlike a 2/2 for Okoye or a 3/3 for Phastos, make it a premium stat line where I think that this is going to end up being a good card. We're going to look at this in so much more detail this video, but we're going to start with looking at our Season Pass variant. I love this Pandart one. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to animate this. I might even gold it. I'm very excited for this. This sort of reminds me of the Hitmonkey I like, where he's jumping on the bad guy's face and like shooting around. It's super cool. I love this Agent Venom variant. It is also worth noting that this is the only Agent Venom variant data mined to be in the game. We have 2 other Season Pass variants if you buy the Season Pass. They are Carnage and Venom, which makes sense for a We Are Venom season. I think they're fine. I like having Carnage Venom pairs because they often go in the same deck. So I have the Jacinto versions and the Hip versions already. I doubt I'll play these over them, but hey, I'm not against having some more variants. All right, Agent Venom synergies. So most games, it's going to affect 4 cards if you play it on turn 2. If you're not getting it on turn 2, you're much less likely to play it, or much less likely to play it for its ability. So if it's affecting 3, 4, 5, and 6, and we're assuming no magic here, right? If you play it with magic, you get an extra turn. That's a potential 16 power if it's hitting all zeros. You still, however, need to play those cards, and you're unlikely to do so, and it's unlikely to be 4 on all those cards. If, however, this is a 220, all of a sudden it's a completely broken card, right? It's much more likely to work out to be like a 210, but even if it's a 2-8, right, like you're still so far ahead from playing this card. That's the kind of upside we're talking about, which is why I think this card is going to be worth it. This is, however, significantly worse each turn after turn 2. You're going from potential 16 to potential 12 to potential 8 to potential 4. But the stats are still good. It's still at least got its own 4 power, right? So you can add that 4 back to it, and it ends up being good. Just like even if you're playing it in the game, there's so many worse things to play than a 2/4. The first real card that this makes me think of is Cerebro. If you have a 4-power Cerebro, then all of a sudden you have a 6-power Cerebro, assuming you're able to, it's triggering on itself. That's incredible. That's really going to be great. Cerebro means it also goes with Mystique, but you don't have to Mystique with Cerebro. I think Mystique and Iron Man are a wonderful combo in a lot of decks. They're super underrated, and being able to say, okay, well, they're now 8 power, just base 8 power. Because they double, right? Iron Man and Mystique. Iron Man is doubles its power. If you cut and copy with Mystique, that's going to do the same. That's 8 power that you're already getting while doubling everything else. That's through the roof powerful. Anyone who's ever played Bast with these cards should recognize exactly what they're getting here. You can't play both, right? But like if you can play either this or Bast, like on those cards, they're extremely strong. Bast is too limiting right now in the meta. I don't think 4 power is. certain bounce cards, like in very specific types of bounce shells like this. Bishop is the first card I think of when I think of bounce for this. It should be the Hood though. The Hood gets if you draw the Hood after playing this, your Hood went from -3 to a 4. That's a 7 power swing on that Hood. That's through the frickin' roof. Havoc gets 1 free trigger. Cassandra Nova starts as a 4, which means she's going to be a 3/10. Bishop starting as a 3/5 is just what? Rocket, Silver Sable, Hawkeye, Thena starting with a 4 is through the roof power. There's a lot of stuff in these sort of mid-rangey good stuff decks like Bounce that really like it. We're going to have to see how this works with Mystique. Mystique. We're going to have to see how this works with Mysterio. If this makes Mysterio 216. Sorry, a 212, excuse me. If this makes Mysterio 212, chef's kiss, we're going to town. I have the deck for that. It's in this video. I'll tell you where Mysterio would go when we get there. It obviously works well with cloners. It works just like a Forge on Brood for Mr. Sinister, right? When it has 4 power. Now that's 8/12, so you've just played a 3/12 or a 2/8. Both of those are great. On reveal cards, really like this. There's a lot of on reveals that start small, like Sage at Wolfsbane. White Tiger being a 4 is great. Bishop would be a 3, 3/4, not a 3/5. I just realized I said 3/5, excuse me. And Deadpool is probably good with this, but I don't think that's a real deck. You want to run Death in your Deadpool decks, and I don't think you're cutting Death or Nimrod or whatever to run this card. But either which way, I think that this is a legitimately powerful thing to be doing. All right, so let's do some Season Pass math. Our friend Lauren Whatevs brings us this math on the Season Pass. A Series 5 card is worth 6,000 tokens or 2.5 keys. You're going to save either 6,000 tokens or 2.5 keys by buying this card. On top of that, you're also going to get an extra 300 credits and 1,550 gold, assuming that you're completing your weekend missions for getting the Season Pass. You get 3 exclusive variants, 1 premium mystery variant, 2 regular mystery variants, 3 avatars, 2 titles, 1 card back, and 1 emote, which is 7,250 gold worth of cosmetics. In the end, with cosmetics, the Season Pass is worth $212.92. So assuming you give a shit about these cosmetics, for $10, you're getting $212 worth of value. Without those cosmetics, though, let's say you're just looking at progression value, the Season Pass is still worth $122.31 for $10. That's 21.31 times the value or 12.24 times the value, depending on what you think of the cosmetics. There's no other value in this game or any other game that I know of that even approaches just buying the Season Pass every month. If you are ever going to spend on this game, don't buy bundles, buy the Season Pass. I mean, if you want to buy Season Pass and bundles, that's fine, but don't start with buying bundle. Get the Season Pass. You will not regret it. All right, giveaway winners for week 1. We have Wicked Sharp 23, CJ 22 Irie, BMS Esteban, King of Bros 21, bruh, Roger Lang 884. You are our Season Pass winners. Reach out to me on Twitter at SnapJudgeCast, email snapjudgmentspodcast@gmail.com, or reach out to me as Pulse Glazer on Discord in order to claim your Season Passes, please. Question of the day. What is your favorite Season Pass card recently? And we're going to count recently as Gilgamesh, Gwenpool, Kate Bishop, Symbiote, Spidey, and then answer how Agent Venom will stack up to these 4 cards. If you want to rank them, that's a perfectly fine way to do it. Cool. That's how you enter to win this Agent Venom Season Pass. Deck time. We start, as always, with our friend Docty, the king of new Marvel Snap card content. I get a union text, and I'm not going to look at. All right. We start with Docty, the king of new Marvel Snap card content, who brings us a Agent Venom Surfer. He's running a Toxic Surfer for this, which I think is a really cool idea. You're not getting a ton of value out of this. Just being able to say Brood is up, Surfer is up, Magic is up, Ironheart is up, and then you're buffing them further. I mean, I guess also technically Luke Cage is up. And then being able to buff them further is great. You get the Odin hit, but the beauty is Luke Cage should reset the Odin hit like it does for Valkyrie. So I think that this is going to be a very, very powerful and interesting way to do it. I am a big Surfer fan, and I'm curious to see if this type of Surfer, this style of Surfer, can come back with Agent Venom in it. Just saying, so many of these weaker cards are now more powerful. It even works really well, like if you're hazmatting all the little cards that get too small to really be good. If you're Agent Venom them, now they have the points to lose. Next up, we have Rez Snapper, another new card content king. Rez Snapper, by the way, will be joining Docty on this week's Snap Judgments podcast, which will release next Saturday. Make sure you check that out. So Rez Snapper put Agent Venom in this don't even know what to call this shell, Noki-ish shell. It's sort of little things and pumps. It's basically saying, if Silver Sable is a 1/4, if Hood is a 1/4, if Wasp is an 0/4, Ant-Man is 4, right? You're adding extra power to these with their abilities or what they do. Hood creates the demon, Ant-Man gets the +4 and becomes a 1/8. Aranya still has the +2 to another card while being a 1/4. Silver Sable, Havoc gets the free trigger. You can re-trigger a very powerful Hood with Grandmaster, Cassandra Nova starting at 4, Thena starting at 4, Ironheart starting with 4, and Sage starting with 4. All of these cards are insane with Agent Venom. My question is going to be for this list, will this work when it doesn't see Agent Venom? If this sees Agent Venom on 2, I will be shocked if this deck is not great. This deck seems awesome. This is one of my favorite builds we're looking at. Not my favorite, but one of my favorite builds we're looking at. Then we have our friend Drewski, who's all of a sudden killing it on YouTube with the new card videos. Drewski decided to do a negative list. You have two choices here. You can go Ravonna or Agent Venom. If you see Ravonna, you almost always go Ravonna over Agent Venom, depending on what you've drawn. However, even going Agent Venom, if negative is in the deck, and then playing a 4/4 Mr. Negative, my goodness. A 4/4 Mr. Negative, a 4/4 Iron Man, you don't really care what Taskmaster starts at, but Sage, Mystique, Ironheart, all these cards with 4 power are awesome. I'm a little concerned with the anti-synergy here with Jane Foster, not going to lie. However, if that anti-synergy does not end up breaking this is going to be incredible. Prashaun, our friend Prashaun, is doing copper drop videos, decided to put Agent Venom in a move deck because starting with +2 on Human Torch is great. And basically everything but Hercules and Beast benefits a ton from this, right? Giving Dagger your 4 to start, now it's with 1 full move, it's a 2/16. Nico starts as a 4, and now you double it to an 8, you get that ability. Just having Aranya and Ghost Spider and Madam Web be bigger cards, all that seems really good. I don't know if it's worth the slot in this list, but I'm very excited to give it a try. Then I asked Barzy what he was planning on doing with the card, and he said, I'm going to play it in Bounce. Barzy is currently ranked number 2 with this Bounce deck. Right now, Kate Bishop is in the Agent Venom slot. Well, he thinks Agent Venom is good enough to replace it, because again, Hood, Rocket, Sable, it's like a free trigger on Rocket, or like an extra free trigger on Sable. Nico, Monkey is not sad, Werewolf is not sad, Sage is happy. You take the 1-point hit on Beast to be able to just sort of go over everything. This list seems awesome. Absolutely incredible. Still not my favorite, though. Agent Venom, good card. This one is from our friend Den. If you're interested, earlier today, we released our podcast, Snapshots podcast. Actually, this might release first. At some point today, whether this releases first or second, we shall see how long it takes the podcast to be edited. Den is on the podcast. We do the top 10 decks of Marvel Snap. And we lament the death of good stuff. Well, maybe good stuff is not quite dead if Agent Venom can bring it back. This is not absolutely incredible on every card here, but it's a benefit to everything, right? It's an absolute benefit to everything. Thena and Iron Man especially love it, and you're not sad to have it on really anything else in this list. This gives this a huge power spike. Cerebro 4, this is my list. I edited the one from yesterday's video because I was trying to run Moon Girl previously before her change to 4/5, but we added Sarah, we added Leech, and now we say go to town. Leech is here because Hela is still a card. I don't know if you remember that card, Hela, but fundamentally here we're doing that just buff Cerebro, Mystique, and Iron Man thing, and then if Cassandra Nova hits our deck, we're perfectly happy. The thing to be careful about with this is you cannot play Hawkeye and then play a card on Hawkeye if you're planning to Cerebro, or Hawkeye will be a 1/7 and ruin your whole game. But outside of that, this should be through the roof power. Sarah and Hope just should be so much energy to end the game, right? Like you've just got the -1 on everything, then you got the 7 energy. So you've got to win, right? Like this should be enough power to make Cerebro 4 real. Is it going to be meta? It's really hard to tell with Cerebro and the amount of affliction without Luke, although we could add Luke for Leech. I think that this is a very interesting and powerful list. This one, however, is my favorite. I've been waiting to talk about this one. I think Nocturne wants to be, in this particular list, Nocturne wants to be Mysterio if Mysterio works the way we think it does. Clear? If Mysterio is a 2/12 that I can buff with Patriot, then this list is going to want Mysterio because Agent Venom plus Mysterio seems through the roof. This list used to be the Iron Patriot Bast list, but losing 3 power on Iron Lad was rough, and then losing the extra power on Absorb Man was rough, and then you can't run a lot of the other 3s you want because of Bast. Well, the other 3s you want are 4. Makari is a 4. Nocturne is a 4 if she stays in the deck. So that sort of answers that problem because you're using Agent Venom instead of Bast. And then you still have Forge Brood, but you also have Agent Venom Brood. Just again, making Patriot a 3/4 is so strong. It's not supposed to happen, right? Making Mystique a 3/4, making Iron Man a 3/4. You take the little hit on Iron Lad, yes. But everything else benefits so much that I'm excited to try this. I really hope that Agent Venom and Mysterio work together the way I hope they do, because if they do, this is going to be where I start. All right, final thoughts. Does Agent Venom look worth it? So he is a lot, capital L-O-T of power. He seems like he could be one of the biggest power 2s in Marvel Snap. And it's a free card. And mid-range will be back. He's a mid-rangey card for like lower power stuff. When mid-range is back, this card will be back. Plus, the Season Pass card is basically always worth it since last August, except for Black Swan. And they fixed Black Swan. It took them a while, but they fixed Black Swan. And I bet you if you bought Black Swan, you're pretty happy now to have that card. We saw what they did with Gilgamesh. We'd already talked about what they did during the Symbiote Spider-Man part with underpowered Season Pass cards. Plus an extra 3,000 gold, 15,000 credits, and all the variants, exclusive avatars, exclusive variants, titles, card back, all that stuff. One less Series 5 card, buy the Season Pass. If you play Marvel Snap, consider it a subscription service. You probably spend, 10 hours a week on it. You're spending $1 an hour weekly on it and like cents on the day buying the Season Pass. I think the Season Pass is ridiculously worth it. All right, quick bundle review before we get to the other new season news. First, the Do My Own Thing web shop bundle is amazing value. You should 100% be buying these web bundles. Every season, these are some of the best bundle values they release. I'll tell you when they're not, but this one comes with a great Miles Morales variant. This is the one that number 3 ranked player right now, Yo Woody MJ, current streamer extraordinaire. Yo Woody MJ runs as his like main avatar. This one is stellar. This is a great piece of art. This is I didn't have this. I don't know why I didn't have this, but I bought this in 2 seconds, and I'm thrilled to have it. I'm running it. I have this Spider-Man. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure they give you just a random variant instead of Spider-Man if you have this, and I totally have this Spider-Man. But also, 217% value. For anyone who's new here, 170% value is what we're looking for if we're spending money. That is good value. 200% value is great, and anything like 210 to 220 is like must buy, at least in my opinion, as far as like the sheer value they're giving us as to what they usually do. I think everyone should be buying this Spider-Man bundle. Everyone should be buying this Spider-Man bundle. They are 2 of the best bundles values in Marvel Snap. There will be maybe one other bundle all season that comes close to the value of these 2. If you're going to spend money outside of the Season Pass, these web exclusive bundles are where to look. You cannot find them in your app. You have to go to marvelsnap.com shop to find them. But if you do so, you will not be sad. They're amazing value, and they're here for almost another full week. All right, time for new season news and events. First, we have the 2-year anniversary of Marvel Snap coming up. They're doing a login rewards, which seems pretty cool. The rewards are 65 boosters, whatever, 250 credits. Never sad for that. Title, Live, Love, Snap. Okay, I guess. 2 neon white card borders. Cool. I mean, I don't care about borders, but I know some people do. I'm literally just piling up borders in my collection. A premium mystery variant. Hell yeah, I love me a premium mystery variant. 155 random boosters, again, whatever. And then 1 cosmetic orange card border. Okay, if you like borders, this is for you. I'm mostly here for the 250 credits and the premium mystery variant, but hey, free stuff, not looking gift horses in the mouth. We also get to vote for a free variant. We've got this cool Destroyer. We've got this cool armor and a Howard the Duck. I want the Howard the Duck. I'm not going to be sad if armor wins. I don't want this Destroyer. I think they made Destroyer worse with his recent buff. But Howard and armor are both really good cards. I have a hip of both of them, so I'm probably not going to play them. But I think the Howard is cooler and more distinct than the armor, so I'm going to be voting Howard. I urge my watchers to vote Howard too, once the voting is up. All right, we also know there's going to be leagues. That's a picture from the video. Also, thanks to SnapDecks on Twitter. SnapDecks is an amazing source of decks that I visit all the time over on Twitter. So thanks to SnapDecks for this picture. This is the rewards for this season's league. This isn't the hip Devil Dino Moon Roll that I want, but hey, a card back and a couple cool cards. Maybe I'll actually try and compete in this one. We'll see. All right, next up we have High Voltage, Marvel Snap's new game mode that is going to last for only 1 week. Well, that's right, we got another new game mode after Deadpool's Diner. Get frickin' hyped. Let's talk about it. First, it's only 3 turns, so this should be super fast to play. I'm already excited. Super fast to play. Each turn, you randomly get 2 to 5 energy, and both you and your opponent should very likely get the same amount of energy. So turn 1, maybe you'll have 5 energy. Turn 2, you'll both have 2. Turn 3, you'll both have 4, and you have to figure out how to do it. Deck building puzzles galore. I'm so excited for that. There are no snaps. You just play 3 rounds to a winner, and it lasts for exactly 1 week. October 18th to 25th. Let's take a look at what the rewards are for this. So we know we have Agony, a new Marvel Snap card that's going to be a 1/2. We'll talk about that momentarily. 3,000 tokens. That's a free Series 4 card worth of tokens. Absolutely. I don't really give a crap, as usual, about borders. 6,000 credits. That's a Spotlight key worth of credits. An Iron Man variant for 11,000. I don't know why, and I don't care why, but 8,000 for Agony. They're giving us another free card. The 3rd free card they've ever given us outside of series drops in Marvel Snap. My son just walked in, so you'll have to excuse if he makes a little noise as he gets here. No big. All right. Agony is a free card. What is Agony? You know we have the card and we have the decks for you. So we're going to start with Agony is a 1/2 Series 5, 6,000 tokens. Once she's done with this, after you play a card here, merge this with it. This is important. Card abilities happen after on reveals. So if you want to use this on like a Black Panther or a Brood, it should not work that way. Fair warning, it's possible that they do something funky, and it does, but as it is currently written, it does not do that. However, the 1/2 that merges seems really strong. It's basically a 1/2 that's Killmonger proof, right? It's a thing to do on turn 1 that you're not super upset about drawing late. That is Killmonger proof because it's not merged with this. It's this merges with the next card. All right, so the first place I want to try this is Destroy. This feels like just a significantly better Hulkbuster in Destroy. Not only is it cheaper, it makes it easier to play. I can go Aranya into this, then play trigger Aranya and play Deadpool, and immediately have a giant Deadpool. I can drop this perfectly fine on a Wolverine or X-23. I choose what this goes on because I choose the order of when I play it. I think that this is going to be a really, really good card. I also don't hate just dropping a Nimrod on it. I've got a nice empty lane Nimrod. I can just drop a Nimrod on it. I've got all of a sudden 8 power Nimrod, which means I should be able to get 16 power in multiple lanes through playing this card. I think this is going to be really good. And it's safe from that Killmonger. Let's go. All right. The other real great place I see for this is a multiple man mover deck. That's not the most popular kind of move deck, but I think that those decks can actually run all of the buffs. They can run Agony, Aranya, and Hulkbuster. I don't think they want Symbiote Spider-Man. Symbiote Spider-Man gets a little funky because you have so many ones, but you should be able to make yourself a huge Human Torch or a huge multiple man with this deck, and either one can be lane and game winning. It should be very easy to make a 7 power multiple man that if you can move even 3 times, 7 or 8 power multiple man that if you can move 2 or 3 times, you've now got just through the roof tempo, right? You got a Madame Web, you should be able to fill the board with 7 or 8 power cards, which is like 21, 28 power in each lane. That's assuming Hela's not completely dominant. That seems so strong. I love Agony for move. Also, in addition to move, it's going to be really great in Phoenix Force, but I didn't actually put together a Phoenix Force list because, spoiler, it's this list, but it's the Phoenix Force package. There's nothing like new there. Questions of the day, and then we out of here. So, Join the Resistance asks what I think the strongest card in October will be. I still think it's Anti-Venom. I keep, someone in the comments made a convincing argument of yesterday's video. Sorry, I don't remember your name. Made a convincing argument that Iron Lad is just better than Anti-Venom. I don't know if I agree. I think the ability to play an extra card has a lot of power and value. I do get that Iron Lad is very strong, but I think the ability to play an extra card sort of wherever I want, however I want, is going to make it worth it, and you could always run both together. I also think that Iron Lad is really great when it hits like an Iron Man or a Darkhawk, but when you see it, you're not like happy to hit a Rock Slide or whatever, right? So now you just sort of get that Rock Slide for free. I guess you always get that Rock Slide for free. I don't know. I think they're relatively close. I do think that's going to be the best card. I am most excited, obviously, for Toxin, the bounce card, the 2/1 bounce card. Again, if you'd like to hear me talk about these, it's going to be linked in the end screen of this video, and that video is already live on the YouTube where I break down every single card this season. Mandatory burnout requests Series 5 variants in the Season Pass, and I think that would be so cool. If they put a few of the lesser value Series 5 or even Series 4 variants in the Season Pass, where you still have to open them eventually to get the base card from your spotlights, but they give you a variant so you have access to play it as an extra way to buy the Season Pass. Yes, the season value is through the roof, but why not make it 1,000% must buy and just push it all the way? The last question was actually from someone on the Discord, and I forgot to write it as I'm recording, and we're not redoing this whole video for that. Someone asked what I think about pineapple on pizza, and I think people should mostly eat what they want, and then people who don't like things shouldn't eat what they want. There's almost nothing that I think, there's almost nothing ethical that I think people shouldn't be able to eat if they enjoy it. It's perfectly fine. Enjoy your pineapple on pizza. Do I like it? No, I think the wateriness of the pineapple messes with the texture of the pizza too much for me personally, but if you enjoy it, eat it. And I'm not going to turn my nose up at it if I'm somewhere and they offer it to me. It's food. I personally would rather have a plain slice. I'd rather have a pepperoni slice. I'd rather have like 1,000 different combinations of toppings. But hey, people should like what they like and not tell people to not enjoy harmless pleasures. Find your pleasures in life where you can find them. Certain tiers of support on our Patreon come with on-air thanks. I'm going to say thank you to a whole bunch of people. Thank you to Abigail Gieslin, Mandatory Burnout, Cables, Irregardless, David G. Wingfield, Direwolf, LAB, FaThorNewman, check him out on Twitch, Good Dog Gamer, hey Good Dog Gamer, shit, this is the older version, Disfault is gone, bye Disfault, instead we're going to say Archangel 3K, Inc., I am Frostman, you are Jane Everett, Corbin, Prime Ryan, Reinberg, the King of Questions, Caretix Lee, Koire, Black Dahlia, my current alliance leader, Pyrofrost, the Goat Seeker, Denman Falcon, Quid Pro Joe, not Quid Pro, no, it's Joe, Docty, the King of New Marvel Snap Card content, we talked about him earlier, Fat Nick, Ginger Prime, Philip Ratkovich, who does all of our shorts, thank you, Ratko, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, Rob Silverman, The Bizza, Xorus V, and Skippy G, Rhyming Friends, Tommy Nyquist, winner of Snapchat League Season 1, the King of Bros, who won a season pass this video, The Great Kazoo, Jessica Gamble, I think I like that one, maybe that'll be how we do that, Jessica Gamble, hi Jess, Woody, Kev C. Hoda, hey Kev, Luna Chris, and now we're in Q-Town, it's Quantum Quinn, John Q, and Jimmy McQ. Again, older version of this. Sorry. I thought I updated it. Apparently, because I've made like 4 slideshows today for different videos. My bad. Clam, 8th Sage, Mod Supreme Models, Darth Vader, No Joe K, Joe P, Steven, who's not listed here, same reason as before, Brian Kaufman, Tristan Martin, Jason B, in Real Name Town, J. Dimental Nino, The Fuzzy Dunlop, Spectrum X, Hoot, Matt H, the only one we need, DJ Mikey Hijinks, No Frickin' Flex, Ocularis, Mr. Craig Sterry, Seamus, who dropped out and we're going to miss greatly, Day 1 supporter, much love, Seamus, Jonesy, check out the triple threat, y'all, Two Ties, former Alliance leader and good friend, the great Lawrence whatever, the Pirate King Tuccrr, the Homie Man, and of course Gunny T, where the T stands for. This video is over, but we're not done. I'll have a new Pokemon Pocket video up tomorrow. There's another one linked right here on the side. Make sure you click that. In addition to that link on the side, you've also got yesterday's breakdown of the whole season as the cat tries to figure out how to jump across me while I make a video. So that seems like a good time to end this video before I get attacked. Peace.